Hi, everybody. Welcome to Authority Marketing Live with me, Melanie Hirschhorn. I am so excited that I get to bring you this live show every single week. And not only do I get to be here, but I get to bring on incredible, brilliant authors and business owners who are on a mission to change the world. And today's guest is no exception to that rule. I am so excited to bring on Chella Diaz. Her book that we are going to be talking about today is called, I just want to pull it up it's called Money Boot Camp, Financial Literacy for Teens. And that is amazing because I know even as a 42-year-old teenager, I still need significant help with that. So without further ado, here we are. Hi, Chella. Thanks for joining.
I love that. May I quote you on that? I'm
Yes.
not gonna say the age. I'm just gonna say as a mature teenager.
No, I'm okay. I'm a 20 teenager. It's fine. It's fine. So the fact is that everybody can use some help. So why don't you tell us a bit about what inspired you to write this book?
It was a challenging times. At the time, I knew that I had been volunteering at elementary schools.
Mhm.
And I would do saving piggy banks and stuff. And then a friend challenged me to do the workshop for high school students. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly what I said. I'm not going in there, because I have two sons. Like they're smart asses. I was like, no, no.
Yeah, they're
Why
not
would
gonna
I
li
do
why would they listen to me?
that?
Right? Yeah,
But
yeah.
I went and I did 5 classes, which I only did that
Oh,
once.
wow.
I was there the whole day. I connected with the teacher. I was there for the whole 5 classes. And I wish I was exaggerating on this. I was tired for 5
I
days.
believe it.
Right, because it's a whole different anyway. So I did the 5 classes and I was like, never again. So the most I will ever do now is 3 classes. But what I started doing these classes and I
Mhm.
started to really understand. So I would give them a quiz before we started and a quiz after, right? I wanted to know how much are they going to learn in my 45 minutes or my 50 minutes. But it was more important also is the questions that they were asking.
Mhm.
So I took my presentation plus the questions that they were asking, the things that they were curious about,
Right.
and I created my book.
I love that. So what are some of the things that they were curious about?
Well, for instance, obviously this is the high school students, and since then I've actually done this workshop for women's groups and college students.
Mhm, and are there
Um,
books for those too yet, or not yet? The books are in the works for those?
No, no, no. Well, I should say I did put together a course and it's 108 ways to save money.
Wow.
Uh-huh. So not only, right, but no, some of the questions, for instance, that they were really curious about because they've lived at home
Mhm.
is what about rent? Rent, what does it take to rent a place? Because they all wanted to be independent, they all wanted to be out of the house, they didn't want to have the curfew. So that, but also, what does it take to buy a car?
Mm.
And then also bring into their attention, it's not just the car payment, right? Is the maintenance of the car, is the gas to the car, is registering the car, is insure. You know what I mean? So they begin to think it's not just a payment. And of course, my favorite is what does it take to buy a house? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Not only what does it depend, if they wanted the 5 bedrooms, whatever it is. So the questions like that, but also one of the most empowering workshops that I did was for girls in foster care.
Wow. Alright, tell us more
Eh,
about that.
Oh my God, it changed. I went back and I redid some of the chapters based on what I learned from them. Right. So I really started talking about, let's say a regular high school where kids are like, oh no, we need to have a car. At the
Right.
foster kid, right? They're like, oh no, we don't need a car. Because to them, public transportation was sufficient.
And a benefit, right? It's not like, "Oh, I have to take the bus."
Right.
Like, I get to
Right.
take
So
the
even
bus.
just looking at it, right? So that was so empowering because they looked at things differently, right? the questions that they asked is, how do you go grocery shopping?
Wow.
Right? Because this is, I mean, and I'm not throwing stones at, the foster care system or whatever, but if you live in a home, that's not something that you would necessarily watch somebody do. Where I dragged, and I do mean that literally, dragged my children, I have two, I dragged them to the store with me. I wanted them, and whether you have kids or not, this will be a phenomenal exercise. Have a kid that understands money, right? So maybe 5 years old or above, understanding money. So have them plan a meal. This,
Wow.
okay, because it's not just the money, right? They're gonna have to think. Let's say they want to make lasagna, and I'm just making that up, but let's say they want to make lasagna.
Mhm.
You can't just come from school and make lasagna, right? You have to go, right, but it also teaches them not just about money, because they have to figure out, okay, I need to get the pasta, and I need to get the cheese, and I need to get the sauce, and do I have the proper pan to do this with? And management of time. I need to go to the store and pick up the things, right? And how long is it going to take? But also, it teaches them math, right? Because now they have to measure,
Mhm.
how much thing is going to go into what. So to me, preparing a meal, it's so much more than just how much is it going to cost,
Yeah.
but all of it. So I encourage, whether you have nieces, nephews, test this out, right? And then, but also what they get is that empowerment of, oh my god, I made a meal, right?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm thinking about my son who's 7 and how he's like, "I just want In-N-Out for dinner," or "I just want McDonald's for dinner." And then I'll say, "Once a week, okay," and we'll go through the drive-through, and then there's that screen where it tells you how much. He's like, "Oh, it's only $7." I was like, "Yeah, but you know what? If I made you noodles and sauce, it would be a fraction of that cost." But he has no concept about where money comes from. It's like mom and dad go to work and then we have money. So,
I think that's important, right? Because it begins to teach them. And then, so that will be one, have them plan a meal, you give them the money, but also have them plan like whatever toy they want. Let's say that the toy is $50, whatever it is, or maybe they want to go to an adventure, whatever it is. Let's say $50. Get them to say, listen, $50, you save up 50% of that, $25, and we'll cover the rest.
mm,
This, moms, dads, uncles, this is going to save you so much money, because as the kids begin to save towards whatever that is, they're going to change their mind.
hmm.
And what I love about this is that you are empowering them to make the decision.
And that's
It's
what it's
not
all
you
about,
saying, no,
right?
no, you can't have that.
Right.
Right? It's not. It's they, and now that's going to help them down the line in life, because they will know, if I want ABC is going to be this much, what do I need to get it?
Huh. That's
It
so
just
interesting.
changes.
Yeah, because then what you're saying is inevitably they might say, "Yeah, I don't really wanna spend $25."
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Or they moved on to the next thing.
Right.
But
Oh, which there always is. Yeah.
how much time did you save in the arguing? So, not to get on this parents, but at the store, I used to see a lot. I don't shop as often nowadays,
Mm.
right? You can get your food delivered to your house. But I remember watching when you're at, because they put all these gorgeous things as you're checking out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So parents, uncles, aunts, if maybe we can refrain from we can't afford it, or we
Mm.
don't have the money to, because we don't know what the child is
And
bringing.
that right, and then that gives them money blocks as adults.
So we'll come back to, I'm so glad you brought that up. So we'll come back real quick to that one.
Mhm.
So what if we say, that's a great idea. Let's sit down and figure out how we can get that for you.
Mm.
Right?
That's a
Again,
real
you're
mindset shift.
inviting them into the conversation to have that. So I'm going to make this 60 seconds or less. So Parents, and this is a true story, parents are sitting at the table and they both are employed, so they get the regular paychecks. And they said, "Oh my God, we have no money," because they just finished paying the bills, right? So, not that they don't have any money, but everything has been paid, so there's no more money left after that. 6-year-old is listening to this conversation. This was a Friday night. I picked her up on a Saturday morning and we went for lunch. And it was a long drive and she was afraid. Her concern, now this is a parent saying that,
Right.
but what's important is I want you to take away with, she was like, how are we going to eat and where are we going to live? Right? Because they may not have the maturity to say, oh, we're going to get money next payday. Or we have this other, you know what I mean? You just don't know where it may sound really simple as adults. You don't know what that kid is taking on as the story.
Right. And we do internalize what our parents say as little children. And absolutely. And even when you think children are not listening, they're listening.
They're listening and they're watching.
That's
Right?
right.
They're listening and they're watching. So, like, if you go to the store or if you, for instance, let's say that you never do anything for yourself. And I'm speaking for myself. When my kids were younger, what I mean, they got all the toys. I really didn't do all that much as far as going out for the manicure, the pedicure, the massage. I didn't do a lot of that when the kids were little. Busy schedule, didn't have a lot of stuff, right? But now thinking back, it's like, what message were they getting, right? Like the mom doesn't take time for herself.
Right. Yeah.
It's incredible, right? There's so much that can be unpacked here. And, we really, really just have to become aware of what we say and what we do.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about your book as a whole. What kind of marketing have you done for it? And what's worked that's been like really helpful? And what would you advise people against doing?
Oh my goodness. So first, the one thing is, please do learn it from me. The book is not going to get you $1 million. So I'm just going to say, because that was initially what I thought.
Mhm.
But the book has been really great for me to be able to go into schools. So I still market to schools. I still think that my book could make a phenomenal, open to doing a fundraiser with it, right? I want to be able to put this into the hands of the students.
Yep.
So showing up and connecting with PTAs has been really great for me. Connecting with teachers has been phenomenal. um Getting myself onto all sorts of this was my publisher gave me a list of all of the different websites where I could put my book up at.
Okay. Yep.
So that has been great. And of course I read several books on how you can sell your first 1,000 books. So highly recommended. It's like how to sell your first 1,000 books was amazing because he gave you so many different tips, right? Always have your book handy, no matter where you are, because you never know who's looking.
Is yours right next to you?
You did have to throw me under the bus.
I was
I
hopeful.
do most definitely have it on my shelf.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
on your
I
shelf. So
definitely
you
they're,
do have it.
they're
It's
always
right behind you on your
yeah,
shelf. There you
on
go.
my shelf.
Yeah.
Always have my books.
See, well, so
Because
you
you
are
never
ready.
know, right?
Mhm. That's
And
right.
so for me is making connections with the people and see if you can sell it in bulk,
Mm.
right? So that for me, and of course, coming on podcast with people that are open to sharing, it's really great. To me, podcasts, live streams is the best way for you to go out there and make a difference and make an impact.
Absolutely, I love that. Okay, so now you have a freebie. You have a gift for everybody, and it's 4 steps to finding your money leak.
Ah, yes.
So let's first of all, what is a money leak? I assume it's like where the money's going down the drain and you don't realize it. Is that
Exactly.
okay?
Absolutely. It's that, but also is the sometimes, especially you just made a good point. Let's say that you have a child and they want to go out to eat once a week, which is reasonable,
Yeah.
right? But when you begin to keep track of that, every single person that has done this, they're going to find that they're actually spending a little bit more than they thought on going out to eat or snacks, right? The little
Absolutely.
things. So real quick. So what you do is you keep track of anytime you spend over $1, you track it. And it's a four-step, and I'll definitely we'll put the link so they can get the freebie,
Yeah.
but
So what
you
is the
track it.
freebie? Let's just tell us right now and then we can put it in for sure.
Yeah, no, the freebie is that. It's going to be the four-step process
Oh,
and then
yes.
walk you through the step
What's
by
the
step.
landing page link for that so
Co
we know? Tell
Yeah,
us what the web address for that is.
yeah, I have to go get it actually. I did not come prepared for that, and I'm in different mode. But it's going to be phenomenal because it just allows you to keep track for 7 days.
Oh, 7 days. Okay, and you can make a difference in 7 days.
Well, 7 days is your first task,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna do that for a total of 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Every single person that has done that, the best one has been, $1,200 in going out to eat. The one person that did that. Because when you're keeping the track, then you're like, "Yeah, I think I only go once a week." But they actually went a little bit more than once a week.
That's so interesting. Wow. Eye-opening.
It's
Totally
gonna be awesome.
eye-opening. Okay, and we can go to your website. Your actual website is chelladiaz.com, so you can
Correct,
definitely go there,
correct.
and
Absolutely.
we will get you the link. We'll post in the comments the link to the really cool freebie to find where your money leaks are and steps to solve them, I would imagine, and one of the ways to
Absolutely.
do that is to talk with Chella directly. So, any last advice you want to give to the wonderful people watching today?
Take one action that's going to get you closer to achieving your goal. Doesn't matter what that is, one action. That's all it takes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chella. Thank you for being here. You guys can grab her book and her courses and all that fun stuff. You can go to her website, chelladiaz.com. The book that we've been talking about today is called Money Boot Camp: Financial Literacy for Teens. And Chella, thank you again so much for joining.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.